year is 1912, a year beset by the tyranny of monopolies that stomp out any competition, a year beset by the callous ambition of tycoons, always all too eager to deepen their pockets or push their agendas at the expense of the working man. In an age where the poor are pitted against the wealthy, who will champion the rights of the everyman? I have the answer. Look! In the horizon! Is that the hero of social and economic progress we've been waiting for? Is it Roosevelt? Taft? Debs? No! It's the valiant Woodrow Wilson and his youthful ward, Thomas Marshall.
The first candidate is Theodore Roosevelt. Admittedly, Theodore Roosevelt's policies were a step in the right direction. The Sherman Antitrust Act was one of the first measures to be taken by Congress in an effort to prohibit trusts and restrict monopolies. But, ultimately, it was ineffectual, because it was so loosely worded. It failed to define terms like trust and monopolies. This loose wording is reflective of Theodore Roosevelt's own wishy-washy attitude towards busting trusts. Not to mention, TR shares some shocking parallels with a certain DR. That DR being the evil genius Dr. Robotnik. Get a load of this. Circular spectacles? Check. Prominent teeth? Check. Ridiculous mustache? Check. Animal cruelty? Checkaroo. The next candidate is William Howard Taft, and may I just apologize for calling Teddy Roosevelt wishy-washy. If the candidates in this election were each a flavor in a Neapolitan ice cream pail, Taft would be the bland, inoffensive vanilla, situated squarely in the middle of the pail. In office, Taft's policies and efforts to break up big businesses were laughably reminiscent to those of Teddy Roosevelt. In fact, one columnist suggested that Taft, T-A-F-T, stood for Take Advice from Theodore. But in the latter years of his presidency, Taft began straying from the road that Teddy had paved for him, attacking one of Teddy's good trusts, U.S. Steel, and firing men that he had appointed to positions of power. This is when the comparison to the vanilla in a Neapolitan ice cream becomes a particularly apt analogy, because William Howard Taft had successfully divided the Republican Party into two sides, and as a great Republican once said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. William Howard Taft is a burden that the American people have had to bear for 4 years too long. And is it just me, or does William Howard Taft bear a striking resemblance to one Kevin James? Something tells me that the only position of authority he should be allowed to have is mall cop. The final opposing candidate is Eugene V. Debs, and hey, wait a minute. Anyways, throughout his political career, Eugene V. Debs has expressed an extreme disdain for capitalism in favor of socialism. While his gripes with the economic inequality that grips the nation are valid, socialism isn't the answer, because capitalism isn't the problem. You see, the true problem is unfettered capitalism. Capitalism does not have any inherent flaws that can't be reformed through some simple legislature regulating business. And not realizing this is a failure on Debs' part. That's right, folks. A free market does mean a freer people. Better luck next time, commie. And here we have Woodrow Wilson, a dedicated scholar, a man of the people, and the obvious choice for presidency. Before becoming a politician, Wilson gained a PhD in political science and became the 13th president of Princeton University. As governor of New Jersey, he enacted bills to fight political corruption and reform the education system. Now, Wilson's new freedom platform promises the toppling of the triple wall of privilege, that being the tariff, banks, and trusts. He has advocated for the working man countless times, particularly the farmers and small businessmen. Plus, look at that face. That's the kind of face that wins you a Golden Globe. So just remember, this election season, it's Woodrow and Thomas R. Marshall, or death row for economic equality.